All praise the art of bachal and bidding, for it proves our love of peace and tradition. The close of the 3130s was a surreal time for the Inner Sphere. Malvina Hazen was starting to self-actualize as a mass murderer, and Alaric Ward was still discovering just how awesome he was. Clan Wolf saw the opportunity to relocate their tumen and civilians to greener pastures closer to the Republic of the Sphere, and the Lyran Commonwealth thought that they could use the wolves as shields against a possible resurgent Free Worlds League. There was even discussion of closer ties between Clan Wolf and the Wolves in Exile, which was a rift created nearly a century before in the Refusal War. Like I said, it was an unusual time. In an attempt to build better relations with the Wolves, several weapons development programs were proposed and started. Through teamwork in producing a new battle armor, trust would build. At least that was the plan. In 3138, the battle armor designated the Black Wolf was completed and went into production. On Ark Royal Site 2, controlled by the Wolves in Exile, Weingarten, controlled by Clan Wolf, and on Stuart, which was held by Clan Wolf at the time. The Black Wolf was a heavy-class battle armor weighing in at 1,500 kilograms. The armor's mission statement was to maximize protection of the user while still maintaining a flexible weapons loadout. At 11+1 points of reactive armor that is sloped to minimize head-on impacts by weapons fire and shrapnel, the Black Wolf succeeds in this first goal. As far as weaponry goes, the Black Wolf can be kitted out in a variety of weapons on the left arm modular mount. The right arm is equipped with a heavy battle claw for up-close conflict resolution. Now, while it can't swarm or do any leg attacks on battle mechs, it can ride into battle using the standard battle armor infantry transport hooks. One of the more common loadouts for the left arm mount is a Battle Armor LBX autocannon. Originally created by the Nova Cats, the weapon was embraced by both Jade Falcons and the Wolves in various forms of battle armor. The Battle Armor LBX fires a round which splits into 4 separate pellets, which each can do 1 point of damage. However, calling them pellets does the golf ball-sized rounds an injustice. They could ruin your entire day and the day of anyone who sees you get your day ruined. It can reach out up to 8 hexes, which is pretty good for a battle armor weapon. The LBX has 20 shots, which is fine, though could be limiting in longer engagements. If an energy weapon is more your speed, the ER small pulse laser attachment may be the weapon for you. Unfortunately, this weapon has put me into a bit of a quandary for the purposes of this video. I've checked all the sources, including the new and older versions of the tech manual, and cannot find the battle armor sized ER small pulse laser anywhere, not even on Sarna. I suspected at first to be a misprint. I looked at the weight, which was listed at 555 kilograms with 24 shots. Unfortunately, there are no energy weapons that match up with that weight and ammo. The closest I could get was the BA Heavy Small Laser, which weighs in at 500 kilograms and has 20 shots for 0.25 kilograms. The standard ER Small Laser only weighs in at 350 kilograms and has 20 shots for 0.25 kilograms. I was pretty baffled, but the ER Small Pulse Laser did sound like fun. We're going to put a pin in this and come back to it. The next weapon option for the Black Wolf's arm mount was a heavy flamer with 20 shots, rolling in at 360 kilograms. According to the Tactical Operations Advanced Weaponry and Equipment Sourcebook, the high-pressure valve on the heavy version of the flamer sends the resulting fiery death out to a longer distance, and the conflagration does more damage. Specifically against infantry units, it's a 3d6 damage with the BA grade heavy flamer. Now, the page where I found this information didn't have any information in the description concerning damage or heat effects on battle mechs, if any. I was about to give up when I did another keyword search on the document on a lark and found the Battle Armor Combat Data Table on page 224 of the TAC Ops Sourcebook, which actually had an entry for the Hemi-Flamer and an ER Small Pulse Laser. This is about to go off the rails, so just hang on. So the Battle Armor Combat Data Table states that the ER Small Pulse Laser does 5 damage. But there's an asterisk, which means we have to head down to page 86 to find out more. But what's on page 86? Nothing, because that's the start of the equipment description section. There's no actual information on the weapon to be found there. So going out to page 132, we do have a description of the ER Pulse Laser technology, but no direct reference or explanation of the battle armor variety. So apparently the Battle Armor ER Small Pulse Laser does 5 damage, maybe, goes out to 6 hexes, has a -1 to hit, and are you catching on to the issue here? Hold on. I need to go equip a Piranha with Battle Armor ER small pulse lasers. However, the info also references that the ER small pulse laser does 1d6 of burst fire damage rather than a 2d6. Where the 2d6 came from, I have no idea, and I don't know what it's referring to. And you might not know what burst fire damage is unless you check the conventional infantry record sheet in the tech manual, which has the burst fire weapons damage versus conventional infantry table on it. There we find that the regular flamer from the battle armor does 3d6 damage. How much does the heavy flamer do? I have no idea, the table doesn't show it. The record sheet from 2021 doesn't include it on the table. Alright, so this is a mess. Let's just move on. Oh, and apparently the heavy flamer does 4 damage to mechs. Maybe. Who knows? You're going to have to basically rules lawyer and argue with your opponent on this point because absolutely nothing is clear. We might need to take a minute here to talk about just how badly there needs to be an electronic rules repository for BattleTech. With approaching 40 years of rules that have piled up in a dozen different large source books, finding a complete explanation, summary, and specific details for a weapon or a piece of equipment beyond the original core set is an exercise in frustration. Sometimes the explanation for a weapon is found in one location, like the Battle Mech manual, while the actual rule is in Total Warfare. But no, sometimes the actual rule is in the advanced book instead. Sometimes the actual rule seems like it may not even exist because you end up in this circular logic where you're constantly being sent from one source book to another. I just cannot wait for all the commenters on this video to tell me how dumb I am. Anyway, it sure would be nice to pull up a website or an app, put in the name of the weapon or piece of equipment, and get all of the information for it so that I can enjoy the game rather than having to play Tomb Raider with the source books. Maybe we'll have some better luck with the next weapon, which just so happens to be the Inner Sphere Tech Battle Armor Plasma Rifle. Yay! Weighing in at 330 kilograms and equipped with 40 shots, I imagine it has a similar effect to that of the mech-sized plasma weaponry. However, don't go looking for this one in the Advanced Weapons and Equipment book because it's found in the tech manual instead on the Inner Sphere Battle Armor Equipment table on page 347. At least I think it is because it's labeled man-portable rather than battle armor. However, the weight of the weapon doesn't match up with the TRO info with or without the ammunition. The table says it does 2 damage out to 6 hexes. There is thankfully a reference page on the table, so let's go check out that page 267 to see if there are additional plasma weapon effects. It appears that if we do want more info, we're going to have to hop over to Total Warfare page 214. However, if you do open up Total Warfare to page 214, you would be a sucker because there's nothing there. Haha, that's what you get for following instructions. Instead, if you go to page 139, you can find a description of the BattleMech grade plasma weaponry. Well, what are we looking for again? I've forgotten. Ah yes, we wanted to know what the battle armor-sized plasma rifle does. Beats me. Apparently it's just 2 damage and the rest you can sort out yourself with your tabletop opponent. You know what? I give up. Let's just move on. Your last option for the Black Wolf is a heavy mortar, and it comes with 60 shots. It can reach out to 6 hexes with a minimum range of 2. It apparently does 1d6 damage to infantry according to the burst fire weapon damage versus conventional infantry table found on the infantry record sheet. However, the Inner Sphere Battle Armor Equipment table states that it does 3 ** damage, which I'm sure is going to be a fun rabbit hole. My brain hurts. So the double asterisk tells us to consult Total Warfare, so let's hop over there to see what's going on with the heavy mortar damage. No page number, by the way. Why would you ever put a page number? You're on your own. Looking around, eventually you'll find the same table that's found in the previous source book. Going back to the tech manual, you'll find the mortar section, which talks about apparently the Lyran Alliance introducing mortars in 3057. Now the mortars are referenced as Inner Sphere only, but the mixed design of the Black Wolf fudges that rule. This section references the Battle Armor Weapons and Equipment table on page 346 through 348, and also suggests if we want the game rules, we can go back to Total Warfare, pages 214 and 217. Shall we go check those out and see what happens? Well, page 214 doesn't have anything for the mortar, but on 217 we do see the burst fire weapons versus conventional infantry table again. Right there, heavy mortar, 1d6 damage. Joy. So going back to our original question, the 3 * damage might be referring to how much damage it does to a mech or vehicle, but I have serious doubts about that. That really seems high for a weapon that the tech manual goes out of its way to say isn't effective against mechs. I'm done. This is fine. This is all fine. This video isn't a complete disaster. When Clan Wolf turned on the Lyran Alliance and announced the formation of the Wolf Empire, the relationship with the Wolves in Exile fell apart. The Wolves in Exile had built a strong connection to House Steiner, and the betrayal was real. Though offered the opportunity to join the Wolf Empire, the vast majority of the exiled wolves refused. Maybe people will start learning not to trust Alaric Ward at some point, right? Right? The Black Wolf battle armor was used to great effect in the subsequent invasion of the Lyran Commonwealth, including Tharkad in 3143. Reports in the Lyran media show that the Black Wolf and other battle armor leaping into buildings and flanking Lyran positions before they could fall back. The heavy mortars were unrelenting and fierce in clearing out entrenched positions in a systematic way that boiled away the ability of the LCAF to defend itself or the Royal Palace. Later, reports from fighting against the Jade Falcons reinforced the suit's strength and ability to hold the line against even the most aggressive opponents. The data generated through 3150 has been incredibly positive, so what's the downside? There's usually a trade-off, and in this case, it's speed. While the Black Wolf does have jump jets, they are not more than a glorified hop at 30 meters with a jump distance of just 1 hex. The battle armor's run speed is also just a single hex. It's a downside, but it has to be considered as moving across the battlefield is going to be a chore unless your Black Wolf point is riding on the back of a battle mech or inside a vehicle. Overall, the Black Wolf battle armor is a sleek design with an interesting backstory. I just wish I could say more about the weaponry, but due to the frustrating nature of the beast here with advanced BattleTech rules, I don't feel like I have a good grasp on several of them. The BA LBX AC is awesome though, just run that and you'll be fine. This is fine. We're all fine. This is not going to destroy the channel. Thanks for coming by today. We may have gone a little off the rails, but a little lighthearted fun every once in a while is okay as a treat. If you remember to hit all the buttons, I would appreciate it. Shout out to the channel members who make it all possible to sit in front of PDFs for 3 hours trying to sort out how a pretend weapon works. Take care, and go make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.